class of 2015. Guess what? We made it. The end of our high school career is in sight. The day we've been idly imagining for the last 4 years is so close we can taste it. Although our time in classrooms here at Gunn High School is over, I believe it is in our last few weeks that we learn the most about ourselves. This is a time for reflection. We are at the threshold of adulthood, facing exciting new endeavors like college or jobs or gap years. There are adventures to be had, new friends to be met, and mistakes to be made. I am as eager as any of you to start sleeping through my classes, spend my Friday nights in the library, and develop a new appreciation for two-ply toilet paper. But when I thought about what parting words I had for my peers, I realized there are still so many things I want to say to the members of my class. Adolescence is universally recognized as one of the hardest parts of life. Transitioning from becoming a kid to an adult is undeniably daunting. I experienced this firsthand when I transitioned into high school. I didn't realize there would be no more end-of-the-semester class parties, that missing a class would actually bite you in the ass, or that my rolling backpack was no longer cool. However, here in Palo Alto, we face a very unique problem while growing up. In our bubble, our very beautiful bubble, we are afforded so many opportunities to learn and grow and succeed. All these opportunities can be overwhelming. Many of us face a tremendous pressure to make something of ourselves before we even leave high school. We cannot help but compare ourselves to our classmates, and we fostered a culture of competition, completely independent of our parents or teachers. We live in a hub for innovation, and because we are surrounded by movers and shakers, we often make the mistake of measuring our own worth by our accomplishments or our grades or our sleepless nights. For the majority of high school, I was a deeply unhappy person. I was dealing with feelings of inadequacy and inferiority all the time, and I never blamed this on Gunn or my peers or my parents. But I had such high expectations of myself that I spread myself too thin. I didn't have a core group of friends. I didn't feel like I quite fit into any of the communities I was involved in. By the time I entered my junior year, I felt completely burnt out. Bad days turned into bad weeks, into bad months, and I wondered, will this ever get better? Spoiler alert, it did. Although it was an indescribably difficult experience, hitting rock bottom taught me a lot. I gave up on many things, but I didn't give up on myself. Learning to push through was the hardest thing I ever did. I had to build myself back up from scratch, I had to accept my faults, and I had to strive to change the things about myself that I could improve. Ultimately, it boiled down to assessing my attitude and finding the flaws in my thought process. I was under the impression that I knew everything. High school has a way of warping your sight into tunnel vision. It's narrow, and sometimes it is very dark. But it doesn't go on forever. I know how scary it is to think, maybe next year will be the year. But maybe it was last year. And although it seems like we've been here forever, 4 years is only a fraction of our lives. There's a thin line between savoring the relatively short amount of time we've spent here and remembering that in the grand scheme of things, high school has no bearing on your future success or happiness. As cliche as it sounds, I realized that the key to happiness wasn't about material wealth, first place trophies, or framed certificates. I was most happy in high school not when I was the best, but when I tried my best. The feeling of working hard for something I cared about was infinitely more satisfying than achieving something just for the sake of achieving something. All of my failed auditions were disheartening, but I ugly cried tears of joy the first time I got a big part in a Gunn show. Every singing competition I didn't place in was upsetting, but I forgot about all of them the year I won 4th in art song. Every track race I didn't win was a disappointment, but I still remember the adrenaline rush I got the first time I ran a mile in under 6 minutes. The little victories were the ones that I wanted to celebrate the most. I think senior year is about learning that things won't always go the way you expect. Even if you micromanage every detail, something will always fall through the cracks. There will always be circumstances you cannot control. This year, I had to learn to work hard, do my best, and be satisfied with my effort, even if things didn't turn out the way I wanted. I became a happier, more fulfilled person once I stopped comparing my efforts to others and focused on doing only what I was passionate about. Our graduating class is full of intelligent, driven, compassionate people. There's no doubt in my mind that every person in this room will be successful in their futures. And I'm not just talking about successful scientists or writers or performers. I mean successful as humans. I mean passionate people working hard and changing the world in both big ways and small. We fought so hard to get here, and you've all inspired me so much over the last 4 years. Thank you for pushing me to work hard while still always offering encouragement and support. Thank you for helping me cultivate relationships and memories that will last a lifetime. Thank you for teaching me things that I could never learn in a classroom. Gunn seniors, it is not ending, it is only beginning. It's time to make yourself proud and everyone else a little bit nervous.